What's up, guys? Here at the garage. I'm working on both Lexuses today. I got Mitesh's here and I got mine right here. They was putting the transmission in this one, and we're gonna take a break to jump on Mitesh's so that way we get the ball rolling on this car. We want to get both these cars running soon. I think Mitesh last year he had something wrong with his drive shaft. He thinks we're thinking it's the U joint. Not really sure, so I'm gonna take it out and then we're gonna figure it out from there. Yeah, so he jacked up the back here. Hopefully that should be enough. Cause I got the jack stands, the good jack stands under my car. Yeah. You gotta take his exhaust off, and then the drive shaft should be able to be unbolted. Alright, now that we're under the car without the exhaust in the way, we can see this Mitesh's diff. Got the Guibo here, and this is a one-piece drive shaft that he has since he did the 5-speed swap. These two bolts here are like where your carrier bearing would be if you have a stock SC drive shaft in here, and there's the U joint. That's what we think is bad. He greased it recently, as you can see, and he said it got better, the vibration, and then it got bad, not too long after. So we think the U joint is pretty old, so we're just gonna change it out and hope for the best. So to remove it, this car is pretty easy. You just have to unbolt the Guibo in the back. If you had the stock drive shaft, you'd have to unbolt the carrier bearing, and there'd be another Guibo here with the 6 bolts and 6 nuts. So if you look here, we got our 6 bolts and 6 nuts, and so you just gotta unbolt this. And technically, this is the holes that we use to bolt Mitesh's exhaust. There's normally a brace here that when you have the drive shaft in, so you'd have to take this brace off with those 4 bolts if you're taking off your stock drive shaft. So for the Guibo, it's not too hard to get these bolts out. I believe they're all 17 mil. So normally if you were like tighten it, you would just put a wrench in the back and hit the front with the gun, or a ratchet, or whatever tool you have. You just gotta hold it with the back. You could do it with the parking brake engaged, and it'll prevent it from spinning when you go to turn it if you're using hand tools. But then you'd have to undo the parking brake when you want to get to the top bolts. So I'm gonna do it with the parking brake off so I could get to rotate it and take all the bolts out. So I got my gun here. I got this regular 1/2-inch 17 socket and this extension. You can see right here. It's a wobble tip just to give me some clearance because this gun is kind of bulky. My other gun, the battery died. So that takes it out pretty easy. Once that's out, now I could just rotate the drive shaft to get to the next bolt. If you didn't have that wobble socket or a gun, you could use a ratchet. Now that all the bolts are out, I end up threading the ones back that holds the Guibo to the diff, because I don't think we're going to be replacing this, because unless we find out that this is causing the vibration, but we're going to try the U joint just for now. So I just threaded them in hand tight because the diff on this, what was this? I'm not sure exactly what this part's called, the yoke or whatever it's called. It has a little prong that sticks out, so it's in the center of the Guibo. So this is loose, but it won't drop down because it's hitting that. And if it was a 2-piece drive shaft, it would flex and we'd be able to slide it out forward, but that's not the case. I put the bolts back in just so it makes it easier to pry it out. That one's put a bolt also in one of these other holes here, that way when the drive shaft pops out, it doesn't fall on my face or something. That would be really bad. Now that that's loose, take this. Okay, there you go. So I have the oil pan in place like it says. When I slide this out, if any fluid comes out, it's gonna leak in there. Oh, got lucky. It's the way Mitesh jacked up the car, and it's, you know, the front is down. Maybe all the fluids float there. Get this drive shaft out of here. This is the U-joint in the drive shaft right here. It's held in by these like C clips or these pins. I'm not exactly sure exactly what they're called. What they snap rings, I guess, maybe. So there's 4 of them that hold in the 4 ends of the joint. I have this U-joint here. I'm gonna try and see if it's the, you know, the right size. Feels like it's a little too. This one might be a little bit too big.
That's what she said.
This is for like a GM. It's definitely doesn't feel right, so I'm not gonna even bother to try this. You just gotta take this one out and measure it. So the way I go about removing these things, obviously you want to get these out first. So use a needle nose and maybe a flat head to assist you. Be careful, they might go shooting out if you ever have to take one of these out. There you go. Get to the next one. Better pliers too sometimes work. Wow. What? Well, I guess Milwaukee pliers are better than whatever this is. Alright, now that they're out, they have a tool for this. I guess it's kind of like a C-clamp ball joint remover tool. I have those at my job. And then, I mean, they probably have other type of tools too. I don't have that here, so the method I'm gonna go with is I'm gonna try to get a socket this size so I could kind of hammer it out. If you're gonna go this method, I'd definitely say use a shitty socket. Don't use something too nice. Got my socket, got a hammer, put it just like that. I prop this up, that way it has, you know, room to go down. I put my foot on it just to keep it stable. Socket's gonna bounce out a few times. It's moving. Oh, now she's gone. Try this again. good. So as you can see, it's mostly out there. Almost 90% of the way through. So once it's like that, what I'm gonna do is try to pull this cap off here. So I need a good channel lock type pliers usually gets the trick done, or if you have a vice grip maybe. There you go. So once that's out, you can see he recently greased it. You can see the grease in there. There's needle bearings in there, so you see that falling out. Now that it's out, rotate the drive shaft this way, and we're gonna try to pound it out going that way now. Uh-oh. There you go. And it's out. Well, at least the yoke. So now we have to separate the U-joint from this part. U-joint doesn't feel that bad, to be honest. But we will change it anyway and see. Alright, now we can move this. Gotta get this side out. It's gonna be a little bit harder to hit it. Wait a second. More. Now that's flush on that side. Go like that. It's almost getting there. One more tap. Alright. Take this, wipe her down. Give it some taps right here. There you go. That side's out. No, we're not going to be able to take it out the same way because we have this nipple here for the grease nipple. So it won't go any more than that, but we'll pound it out the other way now. there. Now we got this side like that. Grab pliers. Back on. That's out. Now pull the U-joint out. Just like that. I don't know. To me, this U-joint looks good. I'm no expert. We're gonna change it and then test drive the car and hope for the best.